Welcome traveler, I'm free-to-play and I'm a guide to a successful free-to-play adventure Nostera. Today I will see how fast we can push our keepers to the maximum. So what you already know for sure, as soon as you've seen that keys give 10 to affinity, we have 5 keys per day we can farm without rarely see one. The first 3 starting towns, first areas have 1 key, then the snowy one from the bestower chapters, which you can encounter very fast in the Tower of Remembrance, and the one in the Keyed Cave, which gives the most XP out of the 3 versions. Sadly, commercial keys give only 1 affinity like normal enemies. So with 50 affinity plus, you're not satisfied for the day until the keys respawn? No? Then let's go to the Corridors of Contrition, the place where the most EXP giving normal enemies lure and where you can find keys which give even more EXP than the big one. Of course, they're rare, but when you find a way to easily defeat enemies and maybe while doing stuff in between, that wouldn't be any problem at all, right? But I'll explain a bit more in a minute. We head to Wealth Dominion, go to the right to the Bridge of Beyond. This place is filled with enemies who have the lance or polearm weakness, and these enemies are very easily killed with your strongest lance attackers, and the only thing you have to do is just to boost all and attack. Why a thief is having the first attack here I will explain a bit later here, but as you can see now, we got 1 affinity and 7500 EXP, and we get about 2500 leaves, and all of my lance attackers don't have any abyssal weapons. They only got the thorned ones or even stalwart weapons, so the units here are not really optimized for doing the maximum amount of damage right now. And as soon as you have ended this battle, your route continues to the one you have clicked before, and when you have finished to go there, just click on another one on the map or just use your fingers scrolling to the left and to the right until an enemy appears. And this makes it almost AFK, like in the last video I have made for the Bestower of All Chapter 1. So as soon as you encounter the fallen black robe bow, you have the dagger weakness, and therefore you need 1 thief so that this battle is done in only 2 turns. But most of the time the fallen black robe is in the front, and that's why it is better to have the thief attacking at first and then have your lance units attack after that. But most of the time I confronted only lance weaknesses, so it is almost always ended at turn 1. And the best thing is that a fallen key can also appear, which gives also 10 to affinity and even more to EXP as the big one before. And it also has the spare weakness, so with only 10 of your attacks you will break the key in turn 1 so that it can't flee in turn 2, and afterwards it only needs 4 attacks from the same group in the front who doesn't have any BP to end this battle, so you don't have to switch around. So these were the first 7 minutes I have spent it, and after almost 30 minutes I just stopped the recording to see how far we got here. So Martha got about 3 million EXP and 113 affinity, and when we sell all our materials we also get 1.5 million in half an hour, and with all the money we can get from the battles we are at 2.5 million. Okay, this totally depends on your luck, but the next half an hour I encountered 15 of those keys, so 150 plus affinity just from the keys, and all the EXP are just extremely good. But if you have Nona, then you can do this even faster than before. But first we need an abyssal halberd at level 3, so with the properties of the abyssal halberd we even get 30% more of damage against the hell fiends. So right now we're almost at 80% more damage increase, which is insane. And if we equip that weapon to Nona and a bit of speed accessories so that she's a bit faster than before and a bit of spare damage up, then we can have this result here. by only clicking her ultimate and attack. So we also have only 2 buttons here and we do so much damage with her alone. So if you're missing out on Dorothea or Richard, it's not a big deal if you have Nona with you. Of course, you need another thief for the dagger weaknesses around, and therefore Ritu is very recommended. Yeah. Oh, okay. We can't do that with only 2 units. Okay, let's try it anyway. Maybe it doesn't flee. Whoa, 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 whoa. Have you seen that right now? Okay, that's a nice bug here. So with every unit being left over from that enormous attack, the other enemies weak to dagger will be attacked by Ritu and by the follow-up attack of Ritu. So you only need these 2 units, but of course you will need 4 to 6 more units to carry all those keepers with you want to level up. And what I like about Millard is that he gives a barrier to everyone so that the minimal damage they get won't really damage them at the end, and even if it would, the HP would be healed after the battle if your influence level is that high. Of course, you need a few of equipment here to have up to 50% more leaves gain at the end, and having the alluring barrette is of course a must-have here. Having the physical attack up on your keepers is also a good thing here. So if you stumble on a few enemies which have more defense or are not killed with only one of your units, then you can increase that damage with your keepers easily. So if I have missed a few keys at the start of this video, you can also write them down in the comments, and if there are some other questions about this topic, please write them in the comments too, or write in my Discord group. And if you'd like this channel to class up, I really appreciate a subscription if you didn't already, and give thumbs up to this video if you liked what you've seen. Happy keepers farming, you're free to player.